All right, let me break this down for y'all real quick. I've got this article straight from the Daily Southtown, and it lays it all out. Exactly what happened when Tiffany Henyard rolled up to court with her attorney by her side. And check this. Her lawyers are already plotting their next move. They're talking about filing an affidavit. And what does that affidavit claim? That Tiffany doesn't even have the records the court's been demanding. Yep, that's the angle they're pushing. Instead of producing the documents like the judge ordered, they're going to officially swear she doesn't even possess them. That's their big defense. And y'all already know what that means. It's not about answers. It's about delayed distraction and dodging accountability. Same old Tiffany playbook. Here's the real breakdown. Henyard was ordered to show up at the Daily Center in Chicago this past Friday. Why? Because she was supposed to finally hand over documents that watchdogs requested all the way back last year. And not just anybody. The Edgar County Watchdogs, that nonprofit group that makes it their mission to keep politicians' feet to the fire. And these aren't random papers either. These are official records that fall under the Freedom of Information Act, which means she was legally obligated to cough them up. No excuses, no games. But instead of complying, she kept stalling. And that's when Cook County Judge Kate M. Morrissey had enough. Back in May, she hit Henyard with contempt order for flat-out ignoring court orders like they were optional. Now here's where it gets even more wild. Henyard was actually called to testify, but her attorney, Bo Brinley, stepped up and told the judge straight to her face that Henyard wouldn't be taking the stand. His excuse? There's an active federal investigation into misconduct tied to Henyard's time as Dolton's mayor. Yep, you heard that right. A full-blown federal investigation hanging over her head. And after the hearing, Brinley himself confirmed he's representing her in that federal case. What defense did he double down on? Same story, same script. Tiffany doesn't have the documents. That's the narrative they're clinging to. But here's the kicker. When asked about the specific document, Henyard claimed she couldn't even remember what it was. Convenient, right? Suddenly, the receipts lady has no receipts. Anyway, let's get back to Tiffany Henyard. In court, she was called to testify, but her lawyer told her to plead the fifth. And why? Because of that active FBI investigation into her alleged misuse of funds and retaliation against enemies when she was mayor and township supervisor. And honestly, that was probably the smartest move she could have made. She's not in office anymore, and with federal eyes on her, anything she said could come back to bite. But here's the kicker. Court documents show that last fall, Henyard straight up ignored multiple emails from the Dolton Council. Those emails weren't random. They were FOIA requests for something simple. Credit card statements. Nothing crazy, nothing complicated. The Edgar County Watchdogs just want to see the same document Tiffany once waved around as proof that the cards were canceled. But instead of handing it over, her legal team claims she doesn't even have it. Brinley, her attorney, told the judge, all we need to do is file the affidavit and it's done. The judge agreed, and that's exactly what they planned. But here's the truth. This isn't about whether she's still in office. The people of Dolton already spoke loud and clear when they voted her out. What matters now is accountability. And the watchdog's attorney wasn't by her excuse either. He flat out said, we don't believe someone can just destroy a document. And he's right. Even if she burned the paper, there's almost always a digital trail. That point hit even harder when Dr. Nikita Cloud spoke at a Tea with the Trustees event. She revealed that Keith D. Freeman, Henyard's right-hand man, allegedly wiped her emails. She said, I had proof in my inbox. Then suddenly, gone. He erased them. When I quit, I only had 20 emails left between me and him. I was chief of staff. He was village administrator. We should have had way more, but he wiped it. So yeah, Freeman wasn't walking away clean. He only turned whistleblower when he had no way out. After Friday's hearing, the watchdog's attorney Edward Coach Winhouse made it clear they're not backing down. And Judge Moreland laid down the law. Starting May 30th, Henyard would be fined $1,000 per day until she either hands over those records or files the affidavit. Brinley promised they'd file by Monday. Meanwhile, He tried brushing all off like this was old news, say it happened over a year ago and she's no longer in office. But that's not the point. Public officials don't just get to walk away when accountability knocks. And right after pleading the fifth, Tiffany did what Tiffany always does. She jumped on Facebook Live. She called herself your favorite super mayor and the people's mayor, hyped up her supporters, teased a book tour, and claimed she's been quiet lately. Quiet? Come on. She accused critics of being haters, painted herself as this beacon of love and strength, and then turned on the very trustees she helped get elected. In her words, they're nobodies without her. The betrayal act was in full swing. And because it's Tiffany, she couldn't resist adding some theatrics. Out of nowhere, she broke into singing, "Nah, hey, goodbye," like she was walking away victorious. She thanked her former staff, and even Keith Freeman for staying loyal. And then came the strangest part. She gave her 6-year-old daughter, Justice, a shout-out, saying Justice has a book coming out soon. Really? A 6-year-old author? Tiffany spun it like she named her daughter Justice because she fights for justice. But when you roll the tape back, she literally just laughed and said she had a healthy baby girl named Justice, just like her mama. Nothing deep about it. Her time as trustee was nothing but pure chaos. Constant fights, refusing to work with anyone, always combative. Yet, somehow, she climbed her way to mayor. And let's be real, it wasn't just her. Kiana Belshore, Allison Key, and Jason House, the same trustees she now drags, were the ones who pushed her campaign, endorsed her, and got voters behind her. Tiffany never lets them forget it either. She acts like they owe her their careers. But truthfully, without their support, she wouldn't have made it to the mayor's chair in the first place. And there's actual footage to back it up. The so-called Dream Team stood shoulder to shoulder with Tiffany. Kiana asking folks to punch 11 for trustee. Allison Key pushing her clerk campaign alongside Tiffany. Jason House giving glowing speeches. They all hit the pavement for her. They all helped create the monster they now regret. And Dolton? They paid the price. What makes it even more frustrating is that the warning signs were there all along. Tiffany's behavior as trustee wasn't hidden. It was right there in those board meetings for everyone to see. She was combative, immature, and only cared about herself. When things didn't go her way, she accused people of brainwashing and flat out refused to listen. Dolton voters had the evidence, but too many didn't do their homework. And that's how she ended up running the show. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'd ever vibe with Tiffany, but I am saying at bare minimum, you expect a trustee to handle business like an adult. Take Trustee Denton, for example. She carries herself with professionalism, but even she couldn't escape Tiffany's pettiness. Stuff like, "You don't answer your phone," gets thrown at her in meetings. Let's be real. That's the go-to complaint. People don't answer Tiffany because she's chaos. And chaos? You can't reason with it. You just have to step away. But let's go back to Tiffany's Facebook Live courthouse rant, because one thing she said stood out. She randomly thanked her parents and then brought up her dad grilling goat. She said, "Stay tuned. He's got a goat coming real soon. If you've never had goat, it's spicy, it's good." Out of nowhere. Why bring that up? To me, it sounded like she was planting a cover story. Remember the Rock Island car wash fire? That suspicious blaze behind a place her boyfriend claimed to own, burning who knows what? People suspected evidence was being destroyed that night. And now Tiffany suddenly brings up goat grilling? Please. I've never once heard her mention goat. Never heard her brag about her dad cooking it. Feels like she's laying down a preemptive excuse. Like, oh, if anyone asks about the smell of smoke that night, she can say, "Oh no, that was just my dad grilling goat." You see what I'm saying? That doesn't feel random. It feels calculated. So what do y'all think? Is Tiffany already setting up her alibi with that goat story? Sure looks like it. Anyway, that's where we'll wrap this one. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're rocking with this breakdown, go ahead and smash that like button. New here? Subscribe, because trust me, we've got way more to unpack.